Special shout out and a huge thank you to every one of my super TF Addicts on Patreon.
TFA 1024, where your entertainment will be transformed.
Ba weep grog no weep nitty bong, my fellow addicts. This is TFA 1024, the Transformers Addict, coming to you with yet another TFA review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new Wave 5 Deluxe Studio Series number 30 Deluxe Class Dark of the Moon Crankcase, who is just Crowbar but with some gold elements. Alright then. But as usual, before we take a quick look at the figure, let's go ahead and take a quick look at the packaging in the Studio Series fashion that I've been doing. So here's the front, here's the side, here's the other side, and here's the back of the box with your obligatory product shots, bio, cross sales, and more. And here we have Crankcase in his vehicle mode. Now before I go on, I just want to let everyone know this is a ranked review. This is something that I'm trying new, something different. Hopefully a lot of people will understand as to why. But it's going from worst to best, and right now Crankcase is standing at the worst. Mainly because it's very lazy. It is really very lazy of Hasbro to just release the same mold that was Crowbar as Crankcase. Because they have the perfect mold for Crankcase. And I don't know why, but they did not take it up upon themselves to think, okay, we'll just re-release the Berserker mold from TLK and use that for Crankcase. No, let's go ahead and just use the Crowbar mold for Crankcase. I'm disappointed in you, Hasbro. Thought I knew you. I mean, repaints are obviously nothing new, but anyway. Taking a look at his vehicle mode, he is the Chevy Suburban SUV that he was in Transformers Dark of the Moon. I mean, all the dreads were, but you get what I mean. He doesn't look too bad. He obviously very bland, like this bland flat red paint for the light bar. While good, it could have been translucent, but oh well. Same with the headlights. The headlights could have been picked out in a nice different colored paint instead of this bland white. I do like the Chevy logo. The Chevy logo looks really good because it's a nice gold. It really pops out. But there's also a lot of nice molding detailing all in this figure. You have these line details up here. You have this whole, like, upper rack section. You also have this nice lifted hood piece right here, which is very cool. And you also have these side pieces. And it is visible. If my camera's getting that on there, you guys can see that very well. It is lifted. So it's very nice. Really nothing on the side except for this nice dark blue metallic paint for the windows. And obviously the windshield in the back. And the trunk, again, flat metallic or flat red, but you also have some nice raised detail for the taillights, so that's pretty nice. Even the turn signals, actually, I just noticed that. Huh. And you have the nice Chevy logo again, picked out in a nice gold. Doesn't even get a license plate. You do have like a little hitch right here, though, so that's pretty neat. But flip them over, and uh-oh, you're not hiding well. I found you. Hide and seek is over. So, he's not too bad. You do also notice that he's not really staying together all too well, but that's because everything is kind of fighting each other. Because everything just kind of, you know, compacts itself in. Like, you see his tendrils, his dreads, all the way in there. And I had to force my way through this whole section just to get those flat, because I don't like how they stick out. It just looks dumb, in my opinion. But he doesn't look too bad. I mean, he's not the best out of them, but he's not the worst either. I mean, he kind of is the worst, but he's a good mold, he's just the wrong character. So. Now, of course, he does roll due to his functioning wheels. So, that's good. I mean, why wouldn't you want a car that rolls? It needs to roll. Well, that's not too bad. And that's honestly really all I can say about this. It's a good-looking mold. I mean, both. It's a good-looking mold for a Chevy Suburban SUV. It's a good-looking mode for the dreads. I think this works really well. So there you go. Now for a brief size comparison, here he is with the Transformers Dark of the Moon Mech Tech Deluxe class. Crankcase. You can see he's actually a little bit bigger. Not this crankcase, this crankcase. He's a little bit bigger, which kind of surprises me, because I forgot they were a little bigger back then. You get so used to the modern day scale that you kind of forget, oh wow, these old toys used to be bigger. And he doesn't look too bad. I prefer the translucent parts right here on this crankcase, and it could have been transferred over here, but I also realize that he does not have that much paint to him either, that this guy does. So he gets a pass for paint. But you can see, not too bad. Pretty good looking, if I do say so myself. So there you go. Here he is with the Transformers Dark of the Moon Voyager class MechTech Megatron. And the scale isn't exactly the best here because, again, this is an older toy compared to a new size and scale for Studio Series. And it doesn't really work out too well, but I think it works for what it is. Obviously, a truck's going to be a little bit bigger, though, because, well, it's a truck. This is an SUV. So there's that. Here he is with the Studio Series Wave 1 Bumblebee mold, except... yeah, I caved. I bought Clunkerby. He was there with Crankcase. I wasn't just going to pass him up. So there you go. There's that. I think that works. A 76 Camaro compared to a 2011 Chevy Suburban. So it's not too bad. Please correct me if I'm wrong about this, though. I think that's a 76. Pretty sure. And for one last Bumblebee size comparison, here he is with the Transformers Movie Studio Series SS18 VW Bumblebee. And I think that works really well. So there you go. There is that. Oh, one minor thing I forgot to point out. He does come with weapons. He comes with gold-painted spiked weapons that Crowbar came with, as well as Berserker came with, except they weren't gold. These are gold. So, and they do just clip in. They're on these little V-clips. V-pegs, whatever you want to call them. And they just slot right in here near his rear axles. And now he can, you know, hit people on the side and kill them or spike them to death or something. I don't know. Hey, in the world of the Transformers, nothing is what it seems. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out. Sorry for forgetting. Also, one more thing. I do apologize if people were curious to see what he's going to look like next to Berserker and Crowbar in vehicle mode. I am never transforming those figures again. Unless I'm playing with them by myself. But for reviews, no. Too frustrating for me. At least Crowbar is. But speaking of transformation and going into a nice segue, the transformation for this video review is not going to be filmed. I'm saying that right now. Crowbar's mold and transformation, because of these stupid dreads, are too infuriating for me to handle. That, and whenever you're trying to do one thing, something else wants to come undone, and it's just, I'm not going through the hassle. What I might do, and this is a big might, so don't quote me on this, I might do transformation tutorial videos, and there will be a link, possibly, in the description of any future Studio Series review down below. So if you guys are unfamiliar with how to transform this mold specifically, please refer to another reviewer who does the transformation on screen, such as MGO316 or Optibotimus for Crowbar, and you pretty much get the gist of it for Crankcase. Because I'm not going to do transformations of figures that are already reviewed. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. But speaking of transformation, let's go ahead and get Studio Series Crankcase from looking like this to revealing the Decepticon Dread within. And like I said before, immediately you can tell this is Crowbar. But I will give this figure some props. The gold plastic and the gold paint on him do look really cool. And that's kind of the main selling point as to why I got him. It's like, and before anyone opens their mouth in the comment section, listen to me. Hear me out. How rare is it for a figure to actually have some gold in them? Honestly, because of GPS and everything, you know, it's a thing. I just liked it. I liked it. I liked the mold enough that I'll buy it twice. I do not care. Technically, I bought it 3 times because I bought Berserker, then I bought Crowbar, and then I bought Crankcase here. I like it. The mold is not bad. Like, at all. I genuinely do like him. I think he is a good mold. I think that this figure could have benefited, though, from just being Berserker. I don't know why they decided to use Crowbar. I understand at the same time, though, because Hasbro needs to get as much use out of each mold as possible, but they had Berserker, and they used him once! Once! So I don't understand why. Again, I do understand, but I don't understand, and I'm not happy about it, but whatever. Hasbro, you got my money. Your mission's accomplished. Do you feel proud of yourself? Because I'm not going to ever stop supporting you. But still, you disappointed me. You hurt me. You hurt me. You cut me deep. You took my money. Let's go ahead and talk about the robot mode. Also, apologies for my lighting fixtures. I'm still trying to get the hang of all this, but it's not that easy. But I think this looks a lot better, so I do apologize. And I don't look as washed out. Hey, figured out how to do it. Anyway. So Crankcase here, or Crowbar 2.0, I guess. It's exactly the same as Crowbar. Everything aside from, like, the gold paint. Crowbar. But I will say, this figure does have benefits. So as you can see right here, for his head, he has some very nice vibrant red paint right there for his 8 optics, which I do like. He also has a lot of nice paint detailing, this nice charcoal plastic, or this paint right here, metallic charcoal paint right here for his chest, and this nice beautiful gold right here for his midsection. You also have the same uses of paint and plastic on the arms and the hands. Doesn't look too bad. Nothing at the thighs and the hips. Does have some gold kneecaps. Some nice molding detailing on the outside for like pistons and such. And then you have his feet. On the back of him, though, he's kind of a mess, but that's because of the way that he transforms. So it's excusable that he has kibble, but I think they managed it very well. And if you want to fix your dreads for the, for this head section right here, just try to find a way to like fix it through this windshield and whole hood piece section back here, because it will actually help things a little bit. So, there you go. Nothing really to talk about. I mean, other than like he can hold his weapons if you really want him to. So he has ports on the inside of his hands, and he can hold his weapons. Make a liar out of me, Crankcase. Thank you. He doesn't look too bad with them. I think it looks really cool. And if you want to store the weapons, this isn't like a surefire way to do so, but I've seen people kind of like, as I drop it, take them right here and just kind of like hook them on and let friction do the rest. Like, they will stay. They won't stay too well, but they will stay there. So, you can do that if you want to. So there you go. So for some brief size comparison, here he is with the Transformers The Last Knight Deluxe Class Berserker. And you can see, he should have been that. Would have looked a lot better, I'm just saying. So there you go. There he is with Studio Series number 3 Deluxe Class Crowbar. If I can get him to stand. Please stand, buddy. Please stand. Thank you. And that doesn't look too bad either. Not the best, not the worst, but not bad. So there's that. Here he is with the Transformers Dark of the Moon MechTech Voyager Class Megatron. If he will stand, please stand. Thank you. So there you go. See how they look together? They don't look too bad. Pretty good if I say so myself. Here he is with the Transformers Dark of the Moon Deluxe Class MechTech Crankcase. He was assigned to be a little derpy today. I'm going to get you standing up proper, buddy. There you go. So there's that. And here he is with the Transformers Studio Series Wave 1 SSO1 Bumblebee. Not the Clunker Bee, though. This one was from my actual Studio Series display. So, sorry. But it's the same thing, so what's it matter? So there you go. There is that. Now going into Articulation, it is exactly the same as Studio Series Crowbar, but because I haven't reviewed him yet, I'll go ahead and take care of that. So the head is on a ball joint. I can look up that far, can look down that far, but that's also accompanied by a hinge, which is on a double hinge, technically. It's on a very tight hinge, so it can look down that far if you force it a little bit, but he also can look up that far, kind of like, wow. Shoulders are on a hinge as well as a ball joint, so the hinge can move up and down. That's for transformation. Arms can rotate 360 degrees. They can swivel just a little bit. The forearms themselves, I believe, are also on a swivel joint, so they're on a mushroom peg, so they can rotate 360 degrees if you want to do that as well. They also have a very nice elbow bend, which gives him slightly over 90 degrees of motion. The wrists are on a rotation, on a hinge, so they can go in and out, but that's mainly for transformation. Nothing at the waist except for a nice ab crunch. The hips are on a ball joint. As soon as I fix all these dreads. Come on. Thank you. Thank you. Hips are on a ball joint. They can rotate up that far. He can do a pretty high kick. They can move back that far, and if you finagle it a little bit, they can go even further, so you can do like a horse kick. The thighs are on a mushroom peg. They can rotate 360 degrees. The knee is on a beautiful bend, nice 90 degrees, so he can Neo with his gold kneecaps. Nothing at the shins, but he does have ankle motion, I guess, like toe movement, so he can rotate his feet, but again, that's mainly for transformation. So there you go. There is... I'm not saying it until I fix him. There. There is that. And of course, like any other Studio Series figure, he does come with a backdrop, specifically with the scene with him, Crowbar, Ironhide, and Sideswipe taking each other on in a Mexican standoff. So my overall thoughts on Studio Series Crankcase is... he's not exactly the best, but I still have a place for him. The paint of gold all over this figure in certain areas, such as the dreads, the chest, and the stomach section, as well as the knees, do look really good in the robot mode. However, I cannot forgive that this is nothing but a Crowbar repaint. He's still fun. Crowbar is still a very fun mold, but as Crankcase, it doesn't work. And again, I understand as to why Hasbro went about this route, but I still just can't accept it. I really think they should have pushed the Berserker mold to be a repaint of Crankcase, because that would have been perfect, and it would not have really done too much. You have the arms, you have the vehicle mode, you have the mold itself, so I do not understand as to why they went with Crowbar. Maybe Crowbar sold more, maybe Berserker just was a shelf warmer, because a lot of people didn't really care about a character who was on screen for like 10 seconds. But even then, it's still really disappointing, and honestly a big kick in the teeth to just receive another repaint of an already existing mold as a different character. But then again, the Transformers franchise has done this for 35 years, so this is nothing new. Me personally, though, I'm not happy with the choice, but I am kind of happy with how it came out, because again, I really like the gold. The gold looks really good. Transformation, while still infuriating as Berserker and Crowbar put together, it isn't too bad from vehicle to robot, but from robot to vehicle, yeah, that's why there was no transformation. He does look really good with the older figures as well as the new Studio Series line, so he does fit, but again, just because it's wrong. I mean, honestly, what you could do is just find a way to cut off these dreads here, or just keep them if you really want to. Get Berserker's head, pop it on there, and then you have Crankcase, but still, it ain't the same. It is not the same, and it kind of disappoints me, but again, that's just my griping. Don't let my decision or my words deter you from getting this guy if you want him. But as a recommendation standpoint, you're better off not getting this guy. unless you really enjoy the movieverse Decepticon aesthetic of, alien insect and arachnid looking characters, then by all means, get him for cannon fodder. Have him just be a drone or something. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be Crankcase. Just because the toy says that doesn't mean you have to abide by that. Unless it's the actual character and you accept it for that character. Me personally, I want to call this guy Gold Rush. Because it looks cool, and he's gold, and he turns into a fast car. It makes sense. Don't judge me. But if you don't want this guy, then by all means, feel free to pick something else up. Pick up a Bot pack, pick up another Studio Series figure, pick up a Bumblebee figure, for crying out loud. It's your money, do what you want with it. If you don't want this guy, though, save your money. If you do want this guy for other purposes, such as, if you do stop motion, use him as cannon fodder. If you just like the design, you enjoy the mold as much as me, then by all means, feel free to pick this guy up if you want to. Because while he's not necessarily a necessity to your collection, he is a very interesting and still fun addition to your Studio Series line, as well as your Movieverse Decepticons. So pick him up if you want to, because I recommend, so you can decide. But that's pretty much all there is to say, my fellow addicts. But before I go, I want to just thank you all for watching to the very end of this video review. I know I promised that the last video review wasn't going to be as long as this one, and I do apologize for that, or this one wasn't going to be as long as the last one, if not longer, and I do apologize for that. But, if it works, why fix something that ain't broken? I also want to point out that transformation tutorials will most likely be a thing, that is, if you guys want them. You guys. So let me know down in the comment section down below if you want transformation tutorials, or if you want me to go back to my traditional stop-motion transformation. Because while I'm trying to make these reviews as informative and fun as possible, I'm also trying to shave time off of my reviews, just because I know a lot of people don't want to sit down and watch a 20-minute review of something that's already been reviewed. However, I do kind of miss the stop-motion transformations, but again, that is on you. So let me know down below if you want stop-motion transformations or tutorials back in my video reviews, and if I can cut anything else out, also feel free to let me know. And if you made it all the way to the very end of this review, thank you very much for watching. And a huge shout out to every one of my patrons, well, one of them, but still, thank you very much, for all of my super TF Addicts on Patreon. And if you want to become a super TF Addict, feel free to click the link down in the description below. You'll go to patreon.com/TFA1024, where for $1 a month, you can become a super TF Addict, which gives you the privilege of getting your name at the very beginning and the very end of my most recent video, as well as a personalized thank you message from yours truly. So those are your perks. Take advantage of those, as you will. But with all that being said, my fellow addicts, please remember, until next time, to get addicted, stay addicted, and TF Addicts for life! And stay tuned for more Studio Series Wave 5 reviews coming out this month. This is TFA 1024, the Transformers Addict, rolling out! Till all are one. The gold dreads especially, they actually do look pretty good, but as you can see, mine are warped already. I didn't realize it was turning into Elmer Fudd.